Purushaya Tubhyam Pranan Namo Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam. One of you can chant. Chant. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Dhruva Maharaja said, "My dear Lord, you are all powerful. After entering within me, you have enlivened all my sleeping senses, my hands, the legs, ears, touch, sensation, life force, and especially my power of speech. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto you." Purport: Dhruva Maharaj could understand very easily the difference between his condition before and after attaining spiritual realization. And after seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face, he could understand that his life force activities had been sleeping. Unless one comes to the spiritual platform, his bodily limbs, mind, and other facilities within the body are understood to be sleeping. Unless one is spiritually situated, all his activities are taken as a dead man's activity or ghostly activities. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has composed a song in which he addresses himself. "O living entity, get up. How long shall you sleep on the lap of Maya? Now you have the opportunity of possessing a human form of body. Now try to get up and realize yourself." The Vedas also declare, "Get up, get up. You have the opportunity, the boon of human form of life. Now realize yourself." These are the Vedic injunctions. Dhruva Maharaj actually experienced that upon enlightenment of his senses on the spiritual platform, he could understand the essence of Vedic instruction, that the Supreme Godhead is the Supreme Person. He is not impersonal. Dhruva Maharaj could immediately understand this fact. He was aware that for a very long time he was practically sleeping, and he felt the impetus to glorify the Lord according to Vedic conclusions. A mundane person cannot offer any prayer or glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead because he has no realization of Vedic conclusions. We'll stop here. We'll resume reading this a little later. Majnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsya. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Please repeat after me. Dhruva Maharaj said, my dear Lord, you are all powerful. After entering within me, you have enlivened all my sleeping senses. My hands, legs, ears, touch sensation, life force, and especially my power of speech. Let me offer you my respectful obeisances. Wait a minute. Let me offer mine respectful obeisances unto you. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatharinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna, thank you very much for joining us on this Saturday morning Bhagavatam class. Today we have chosen a special topic. We are talking about the lessons we can learn from Dhruva Maharaj, the life of Dhruva Maharaj. So Dhruva Maharaj is the son of what is Dhruva Maharaj's father's name? Brother's name? Uttama. Was the son of a king by name Uttanapada. Uttanapada had two wives. The elder one was known as Suniti, the younger one was known as Surichi. And from each one of them, he had one son. Dhruva Maharaj was actually the son of the elder wife, known as Suniti. Thank you. Dhruva Maharaj was the son of the elder wife, known as Suniti. But Uttama was the son of the younger wife, known as Suruchi. And as it happened, King Uttanapada was very fond of his younger wife, Suruchi, whose son was Uttama. Dhruva Maharaj was elder, so he was the direct heir, which means directly eligible to sit on Uttanapada's throne after his time. Because he was elder and he was also born from the elder queen. But things didn't go as planned. The king was very fond of his younger wife, Suruchi. And so he practically disregarded his elder wife, Suniti. And then consequently, he also disregarded the elder wife's son, Dhruva. He disregarded. Sometimes among the many queens that the king has, somebody becomes the favorite queen, and that creates all kinds of complications. Like Dasharatha's favorite queen was Kaikeyi, and because of his excessive attachment for Kaikeyi, he was influenced by Kaikeyi. We could say he was practically controlled by Kaikeyi. And so when Kaikeyi demanded that her son should be the king in place of Rama, instead of Rama, Dasharatha had to accept. Of course, there was also the promise that Dasharatha had made to Kaikeyi long back. And then as a result of that promise, Bharata was designated as the crown prince, and Rama was asked to go to the forest. So sometimes the kings have attachment, and that gives rise to a lot of rivalry within the royal family. Like, for example, Chitraketu had many wives. But he liked one among them excessively, because of all the wives that he had, only one among them gave him a son. Nobody else could give him a son. Nobody else could give him a santan. So he liked that wife who gave birth to a child. excessively, and all the other wives became jealous. They said we were all equal at one point of time, but now the birth of this child has created so much anxiety. The king is neglecting, ignoring us completely because we couldn't bear children. And he's so completely fond of that lady, that queen who gave birth to a son. So they all conspired together, get together, conspire, and they poison the child. And they kill the child actually. They said, okay, if the child is gone, then he will be forced to treat us all equally like before. So sometimes it leads to rivalry, sometimes to some conflict, sometimes to some conspiracy like this. Anyway, in Dhruva Maharaj's case, the result of Uttanapada being partial and favoring his younger wife, Suruchi, actually turned out to be very good for Dhruva Maharaj. Turned out to be like a, in English we use the word blessing in disguise. What does that mean? Anybody knows? What do we mean when we say blessing in disguise? Anybody? Correct. Superficially, it may look adverse, but actually it turns out to be very good for us. It's called blessing in disguise. I don't know if there's a Hindi equivalent of that. No. Nor do I know if there's any Kannada equivalent of that. Blessing in disguise. It appears like a curse, but actually it's a boon. So in Dhruva Maharaj's case, it turned out to be a great blessing. It became a life-changing blessing for him. What happens is, one time Dhruva Maharaj climbs onto his father's lap and sits on his father's lap, Uttanapada's lap. And this is seen by the king's younger wife, Suruchi. She comes there, picks up Dhruva Maharaj and drops him on the floor and says, you cannot sit on your father's lap. Dhruva Maharaj says, why not? I'm his son, I can sit. You may be his son, but you're not a son born out of my womb. Suruchi, actually Dhruva Maharaj was the stepson of Suruchi. She says, this place is reserved only for my son. The lap of your father is a place reserved, blocked for my son and not for you. And it is said that the Kshatriyas are very fiery means very fiery, very full of passion, full of chauvinism. They are very chauvinistic people. They have so much pride. So this little boy, just 5 years old, he felt very insulted and humiliated. That he was practically thrown off from his father's lap. And what hurt him as much as the words of his stepmother, what also hurt him is that his father did not protect him. The father doesn't come to his rescue and he doesn't instruct his younger wife saying, no, let him also sit. He doesn't say, he keeps quiet. And so it's like injury and there is salt on the injury. They say in English, putting salt on the injury. That means already you have a cut. And imagine you rub salt on it, it will burn much more. So putting salt on the injury. So poor Dhruva Maharaj already has felt humiliated and insulted and very, very terrible about it. And imagine on top of it, his father is also not defending him. Father doesn't come to his rescue. So he becomes very angry, but he can't do anything. And on top of it, there's a third thing, first insult, then there is salt, then maybe they'll put chili powder or something like that. The stepmother of Dhruva Maharaj goes on to say, you know what, you want to sit there? You want to sit on your father's lap? You know what you should do? You should go to the forest and you should worship Lord Vishnu. Do intense worship of Lord Vishnu. Do intense tapasya and pray to him that at least next life I should be born as the son of Suruchi and not as the son of Suniti. When you're born from my womb, then you will get a chance to sit on your father's lap. Until then, no, you're banned. You're disqualified. You cannot sit. Imagine how 5-year-old Dhruva Maharaj will feel about it. So he's just 5-year-old, but Kshatriyas are a very kingly royal race. So they have a lot of pride. They can't accept insult and humiliation of that nature. So he goes with so much anger, this anger and hot breath coming out of his nose and ears and everything. He storms into his mother's chambers and asks, you know what happened today? This is what, mother will ask, what happened? You seem like you're on fire today. Dhruva Maharaj will say, yes, I wish I could burn myself or something like that. And Dhruva Maharaj will say what happened. He will explain to his mother what happened. And then he will think maybe mother will pacify me or something like that. Cajole me, pacify me. The helpless mother will say, very honestly, very sweet lady, very honestly, very helplessly, she will say, what to do, what she says is true. You were born out of my womb, that is your misfortune. You cannot sit on the lap of your father because your father likes the younger one much, much more than me. So much so that he even neglects me. He doesn't care for me, he neglects me. Yes, I also feel that it's unfortunate that this happened, but there's nothing I can do to help you. Because the reality is your father doesn't like me. He likes his younger wife much, much more. So maybe what she has said is true. If you want to sit on your father's lap, maybe you should go and pray to Vishnu. Then Dhruva Maharaj will say that I will definitely go. I want to take revenge. Dhruva Maharaj's mood is I want to take revenge. I'll teach her a lesson. I'm going to take revenge on this lady. What does she think of herself? Kshatriyas are like that. They react like that. And mother says, yeah, it's up to you, like that, something like that she says. And then Dhruva Maharaj asks this question. He says, what is this? Everybody is saying I should go to the forest and meditate on Vishnu. Who is this Vishnu? So Dhruva Maharaj is actually asking his mother when he was 5-6 years old, who is this Vishnu? And why should I worship him? Or like that. Then Dhruva Maharaj's mother is the first guru of Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj's mother says, yes, you should worship Vishnu. Vishnu is the Devata. Is the Supreme Lord. He is the Lord of the Devatas, not just the Devata. He is the Devata of the Devatas. And he controls everybody's destiny. And then, yes, only he can satisfy your wish. And then Dhruva Maharaj will make up his mind that then he'll ask his mother, so where can I find him? Tell me more about him. So Dhruva's mother Suniti explains to Dhruva, who is Lord Vishnu, how can you find him, where can you find him, what you should do so that he appears before you. So initial instructions she gives. So Dhruva Maharaj's first guru is his mother. He teaches him how to find Vishnu. And then she says, everybody who's serious about wanting to have darshan of Lord Vishnu, blessings of Vishnu, and meet him or whatever, they end up going to the forest, because in the forest they can meditate without any hindrance or disturbance or nuisance or anything. Undisturbed mind, they can meditate on Vishnu. So everybody who's serious tends to go to the forest. So Dhruva Maharaj will say, I'm also going to the forest. Mother will be a little puzzled, says, no, this is really not the age to do that. Why do you want to do that now? But he's very determined. He says, no, I want revenge. I want revenge. And then in his mind, he's not thinking that in his mind, because he's a fiery Kshatriya coming from a royal race, he's thinking that his idea of revenge is not that he wants to die or give up his body, become born again in Suruchi's womb, the younger wife's womb, and then sit on the throne. He says, I want a kingdom. I want to sit on a throne, not just on my father's lap. I want to sit on a throne, and I want to have a kingdom of my own, which is bigger than my father's kingdom. Bigger, much bigger, billions of times bigger, greater, more opulent, more glorious, more famous, outshine my father in every way. I want a kingdom like that. So his Kshatriya spirit is coming out. And so he will go and he will just march off into the forest. 5-year-old kid walks off into the forest. And father becomes very sad when he hears that Dhruva Maharaj has abandoned his palace, his house, his family, and gone off into the forest. But there's nothing much he will do because he's so attached to his younger wife. So he goes off into the forest. And all that he knows that people who search for Vishnu go to the forest and do some meditation. That's about all his mother could tell him. And anyway, as just a 5-year-old kid, what more can he understand? So she won't tell him more, but he just walks off. Nobody expects he would do that. So he goes off into the forest and he's kind of searching because he's still confused. He doesn't know what to do to meet the Supreme Lord, complain and submit his request, submit his prayer and seek his blessing. So he's still confused. Then this news that Dhruva Maharaj has gone into the forest reaches Narada. Narada is eternally looking for people like this. Always hunting. He's on a search mode. Always hunting for somebody like this who's either frustrated, who's gone to the forest or something. So he's on a search mode. He'll get this alert and he'll understand that Dhruva Maharaj has abandoned his family. 5-year-old kid of Uttanapada. He's very determined to meet Vishnu. And that is all. That's the only qualification Narada wants. And he comes there and he appears in front of Dhruva. And Narada actually tests him. The first thing Narada Muni says is that, what are you doing in the forest? You should be at home. You should be with your family. I heard you're the son of Uttanapada. What are you doing in the forest? Have you lost your way or something like that? Then Dhruva Maharaj will say, no, I have a problem. I have to solve the problem. And you just tell me if you can help me. You can help me or teach me how to get to Vishnu. Then Dhruva Maharaj will ask this and Narada Muni will test him even more and say, no, that's not possible for young children like you. All that he will say. He'll say, no, I'm determined. I want to find, I have a serious major problem in life. I have to solve the problem. People told me only Vishnu can solve my problem. So you tell me if you can help me find Vishnu. And Narada Muni is so deeply impressed by his resolve, by his determination. He'll say, still, this is the age to play. Tell me what happened. Why are you so angry? What happened? Then, not that Narada Muni does not know, but he wants Dhruva. Then Dhruva Maharaj briefly narrates what happened. And then Narada Muni says, so, that's all. And this happened and now you're in the forest. You gave up your family, your father. Come on, these things happen in material world. It's a part of daily life. It's a part of the day's life or something like that. Why are you so disturbed and perturbed? Nobody will take this seriously, so seriously. Just take it as your stepmother doesn't like you, take it, carry on playing 1 or 2 days, you'll forget about it. You'll become okay again, like that. But Dhruva Maharaj is Dhruva Maharaj. He will tell Narada Muni that, listen, if you can help me, you help me. Otherwise, I'll find somebody who will help me. I'll go to somebody else who will help me. Then Narada Muni will again test him and say, well, I can teach you, but it's not going to be easy. It's really difficult to practice that process by which you can get Vishnu. And after all, why, this big kingdom, you want a kingdom bigger than your father, glorious, more glorious, bigger than your father, etc. It's not so good to go to Vishnu in that mood of a revenge. It's not so good. But Dhruva Maharaj will be very firm. He'll say, listen, don't try to change my mind. I've already made up my mind. And I'm not going to change that. I'm praying for this, I will do anything to achieve this. Then at last, Narada Muni is convinced, and then he imparts this knowledge as to how to please Lord Vishnu. And he gives this very famous mantra. Anybody knows what is that mantra? Narada Muni gives Dhruva Maharaj that very famous mantra. He says, you chant this mantra, the Lord will come in front of you. Nobody knows? Yes. He gives that mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. He gives this mantra to Dhruva Maharaj and says, you meditate on this, the Lord will come. He will appear. But not just that, Dhruva Maharaj, Narada Muni will tell Dhruva Maharaj that, listen, you're really serious, you want to see Vishnu, then there's a particular way in which you should do it with great intensity, not casually. When you chant the names of the Lord, the more intensely you do, the more chances that you will succeed. So, Narada Muni tells him that, you see, this would be a good way of doing it, very intensely. First 3 months, you eat once in, there are different versions of that. First 3 months you eat once in, some fruits or something. Then the next 3 months first 2 months. Then the next 2 months you eat dry leaves that fall down from the tree you eat. Then the next month maybe you just take water once in 3-4 days. Then after that, all you live on is breathing. You breathe. By your breath, you should get energy. And after that, you should hold your breath. Imagine, begin with some fruits and then dry leaves and then some water and then breathe and then stop that also. You do this very intensely, maybe then you will be able to see the Lord. But imagine, those days people were so stronger, people were so fit, people were so mentally also strong. Not just physically, mentally also. They had that determination, they had the quality of faith and strength. He could do it. He said, I will do it. If that's what it takes to get Vishnu, I'm going to do it. So Dhruva Maharaj is chanting this mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. He's meditating. And as he's meditating on the form of the Lord in his heart, the four-handed form of the Lord. He's hearing and meditating on the form of the Lord in his heart. And then eyes closed, sitting, and he's meditating very, very intensely, very, very focused mind. And then as he's meditating, actually the Lord, he can feel the presence of the Lord, the Paramatma form of the Lord, four-handed form, he can feel in his heart and mind. And then as he is meditating like this, he goes from one level of intensity to another, to another, to another. So first fruit, then dry leaves, then water, then air. He's doing that, and finally he'll come to a stage where he will hold his breath. After 6 months, he comes to a stage where he can hold his breath. He's not even breathing, not even drinking water. He's just holding his breath. That's not easy. And then when he holds his breath, he's not breathing at all. It's said that the whole air, that is Vayu, the air in the universe, freezes. You see, when we breathe in and breathe out, there is activity. Air is moving. But Dhruva Maharaj had become so powerful by then, by chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, as well as by practicing this austere method. And it said that the last phase when he was chanting, he would even stand on one leg, and then stop breathing and chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya and meditate on the form of the Lord. So he's completely fixed. That's called Samadhi. Samadhi means very intense, pure state of intense focus on the form of the Lord, name of the Lord, like that. And one day while he's doing this, when he's continuing to do this, and the whole universe the air gets frozen, it's not moving. People have to breathe in and breathe out for the air to move. And this man, this one little kid, froze the whole Vayu. It just froze, it's not moving because he's not breathing in nor breathing out. So all the devatas went to Vishnu and said, we are choking. We're not able to breathe because Dhruva Maharaj is not breathing, he's not taking air in and out. So when we breathe, air is not coming in. Vayu has just it's become it's frozen, not moving at all. Then Lord Vishnu says, oh yeah, time has come for me to appear in front of him now. So Lord Vishnu realizes that the time has come to reward Dhruva Maharaj. So he appears in front of Dhruva Maharaj. But one very strange thing happens. Dhruva Maharaj has the meditation, so he's feeling the presence of the Lord, the four-handed form of the Lord in his heart and mind. Suddenly, Lord Vishnu vanishes from his heart and mind. He's no longer able to perceive Lord Vishnu. He becomes very disturbed. He says, what happened? I was meditating, as I'm chanting Om Namo Bhagavate, I was meditating on the four-handed form of the Lord in my heart. Suddenly, I'm not able to get hold of the form of the Lord in my heart or mind again. I'm not able to, in spite of trying. So Dhruva Maharaj becomes so disturbed that he's not able to get hold of the image of the Lord or meditate on the form of the Lord, four-handed form of the Lord. Then out of frustration, he opens his eyes. And when he opens his eyes, he sees that same Lord that he was meditating upon is standing right there in front of him. The Lord has manifested physically in front of Dhruva Maharaj. So he becomes so surprised. Then he realizes why the Lord is not there in his heart, because he's out there, right there in front of him. So Dhruva Maharaj looks at the beautiful form of the Lord. He's overwhelmed by seeing the beauty of the Lord. Actually, he is overwhelmed even when he sees the beauty of the Lord in his four-handed form, when he's meditating on the Lord. But imagine seeing the form of the Lord directly, standing there with his beautiful, benign smile, lotus-like eyes, very merciful, loving glance. The Lord is smiling at Dhruva Maharaj and expressing his affection through his smile. And Dhruva Maharaj becomes overwhelmed and he falls down flat and offers his Dandavat Pranam to Lord Vishnu as soon as he sees Lord Vishnu. And then he offers, he's mumbling some prayers. Maybe he's just chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya also. And then he gets up and looks at the form of the Lord, and then he's holding his hands and looking at the form of the Lord. And then he realizes that he's so overwhelmed, he's so nervous, he's so unsure, he's so... he lacks that complete knowledge about the Lord in order to do or say something. The Lord is there in front of him. Dhruva doesn't quite really know how to react. And he's just staring at the Lord, very confused and like that. And the Lord understands that he's just a kid. He doesn't have the complete knowledge. He's just picked up something from his mother, picked up something from Narada Muni, and started chanting my name. So the Lord appears, and then the Lord takes his shankh and touches the forehead of Dhruva. Very lovingly touches the forehead. And in the Bhagavatam, it's so nicely explained that as soon as the forehead is touched, that is the shloka we have today. Can someone read the translation? Yeah. So, Dhruva Maharaj, after the shankh of the Lord touches his forehead, he becomes completely transformed. He has this amazing transformative experience. So, he becomes enlivened, he becomes full of energy, he becomes pure, he becomes empowered, he becomes very blissful. satisfied, ecstatic, not just by seeing the form of the Lord, but the Lord's touch of his shankha. So he becomes very, very overjoyed. Actually, this is true for all of us. When we touch the name of the Lord, when we see the form of the Lord, when we take prasad, somehow or other come in touch with the Lord. When we read the first time, we read the shlokas, something chanted by the Lord or something about the Lord, which here meet the devotees or something. It is very transformative experience. Maybe we will not feel immediately like Dhruva Maharaj, but the transformation may appear very soon because the Lord is like that. Actually, when the Lord appears as Bali Maharaj in front of his own enemy, in front of Bali Maharaj, when the Lord appears as Vamana in front of Bali Maharaj is actually enemy. But when Bali Maharaj sees the beautiful form of Vamana, the short, dwarfish Brahmana boy, even Bali Maharaj, who is his enemy, becomes overtaken by love for this form of the Lord. He becomes so overwhelmed with love and the desire to serve. That's the power of the Lord. The Lord is all attractive. So Bali Maharaj also becomes very attracted to the form of the Lord, the demeanor, the angas, the different limbs of his body, and the smile, very affectionate, loving smile of the Lord, glance of the Lord. So same way, Dhruva Maharaj became overwhelmed at seeing the Lord. And then when the conch touches, there is this complete transformation. And then after that, Dhruva Maharaj starts offering prayers. Very, very significant prayers. Very nice prayers. And the prayers of Dhruva Maharaj are very glorious, the way he speaks about Krishna, the Lord, how he is the creator, how he is the maintainer, how he is the sustainer, how Brahma comes from him, all the devatas come from him, everything dissolves in the Lord at the end of Pralaya, and how kind and merciful the Lord is, how all-powerful he is. So all these prayers he's chanting in about 12 to 15 shlokas. Dhruva Maharaj is glorifying the Lord, the beauty of the Lord, the power of the Lord, the majesty of the Lord, the attractiveness of the Lord. Everything is glorifying. Like a very expert Vedic scholar. Just same. It's the same Dhruva Maharaj. He was sitting on the lap of his father. It's the same. In one sense, the same. In one sense, very different. This Dhruva Maharaj in the forest, after he has darshan of the Lord and after he meditates on that mantra, and after the Lord touches him with his conch shell, he's very different, he's very transformed. And he's glorifying like a Vedic scholar. The prayers of Dhruva are very, very scholarly. It is there in this chapter. You can all go home and read. So Dhruva Maharaj becomes very, very perfect and very beautifully constructed shlokas. He's glorifying the Lord. And in the process of glorifying the Lord, Dhruva Maharaj also says, Dhruva Maharaj also becomes a little ashamed. After his glorification of the Lord will accept his prayers. The Lord will say, I'm very happy with the prayers that you have offered. I accept all your prayers. And Dhruva Maharaj has not yet spoken to the Lord anything other than offering prayers. The Lord himself will tell Dhruva Maharaj, I know why you came to the forest. I know what brought you to the forest. I know what you want to achieve. I am fully aware of that. And you want a kingdom that is billions of times bigger, glorious, more wealthy, more noteworthy, more famous than that of your father. You want to prove a point to your father. It is not a very easy boon to satisfy because I have to change everything in the universe. I have to create something specially for you so that it satisfies you and It's not, Lord says it's not so easy to do this, but I will do it for you. I will do it for you. And the Lord will explain how He's blessing Dhruva Maharaj. He says, I'm going to create not just a kingdom, not just a world or a country, not a kingdom, not a country, not a. The Lord tells, I'll create a different universe. I mean, what? Planet for you, or a star for you. And that star will be known by your name, which is called, we say Dhruvatara. And this star or planet that I'll create for you will be very unique. It will not be, when the Mahapralaya happens, when the whole universe is dissolved, this planet of yours will not be disturbed. It will survive. It won't be disturbed. This planet will go on forever and ever and ever and ever. Dhruvatara. It won't be diminished. It will stay forever. And I will make the universe in such a way that the entire solar system will spin around you. You will be the fulcrum, the focal point, the fulcrum of the universe, the pivot of the universe. Everything will spin around you. That's the kind of planet I want to give you. This is what Vishnu tells Dhruva Maharaj. And then after receiving this blessing, Dhruva Maharaj becomes embarrassed. He feels that now I understand where I went wrong. He feels that why all the yogis and great devotees don't ask for anything like this from the Lord. They never ask for anything. I want to be big, famous, rich, powerful, bigger than Brahma. They never ask. They only ask saying, please bless me so that I'm always in your association, always in your service, always associated with the devotees, always glorifying you, always serving you in some way or other. Why they ask? Because Dhruva Maharaj can experience in that short time when the Lord is in front of him, how supremely attractive the Lord is, and how gentle, generous, loving the Lord is. In that short time that he is present in the front of Dhruva Maharaj. So Dhruva Maharaj realizes that maybe he made a big miscalculation, a mistake. Actually, the Lord blessed him saying, once this planet is created, you will rule this planet for 36,000 years. Is that enough? It's a real long time. Definitely much more than your father's life tenure. 36,000 years you'll be the king. And what will happen after 36,000 years? The Lord says, after 36,000 years, I will personally send someone to pick you up and bring you back to my Dhamma, Vaikuntha Dham. I'll personally send somebody. Not that he will die. Not that. And by the way, the Lord promises Dhruva Maharaj one more boon. He says, you will rule for 36,000 years, but you won't grow old. You'll be young, fresh, energetic, with full vitality and vigor of your body, retained intact. You'll never grow old. That's another boon the Lord will give. And you will rule this planet. And everybody in this planet will be, generally everybody will be happy, prosperous, like that. So he gives all kinds of boons to Dhruva Maharaj because of the austerity, purity, and devotion that Dhruva Maharaj showed. But it's Dhruva Maharaj who will feel guilty. He'll say, maybe it wasn't a good thing to go to the Lord and ask for something like this. Instead, maybe I should have asked that, like the devotees and the great sadhus and saints ask, that I should always be under your shelter, in your presence, serving you, chanting your names, hearing you with the devotees. Because in this short time that I was there in his presence, I felt that it seemed every moment of my life or every cell of my body was very ecstatic, was very, very, very transcendentally enlivened every anga, every cell of my body. And everything else appeared insignificant. Nothing else appeared significant. In front of you, in front of your beauty, in front of your personality. So then Dhruva Maharaj actually feels a little guilty saying, he quotes, then he glorifies the Lord in the second set of verses. And in the second set of verses, Dhruva Maharaj says, I think I made a big mistake. It's like somebody goes to a king and the king says, take what you want. And you ask for just a few grains of, a few morsels of grains. Instead of asking, the king will say, I'm ready to give you anything you want. I just asked. So maybe I asked for something which is of no value. What is the use? I mean, I may be king for 36,000 years or maybe 360,000 years also. But I'll be the king without, I'm not with Krishna or his devotees. What's the use? What's the use of anything material which is not directly connected to Krishna? If it's not offered to Krishna, if I'm not in the presence of devotees of Krishna or the Lord. I compromised. I should have asked for that. I settled for this. So he says, I went to a rich man, I pleased him, and I got a few grains. I should have asked for this. Dhruva Maharaj feels so guilty. And Dhruva Maharaj also says something, that you are so, I was looking for some, compared to what you are and what you can give, what you could have given me, what I took from you, you're like the diamond. You're like diamonds and pearls and rubies. You're like that, my Lord. But what I got from you, instead of having you, instead of getting you, I just came back satisfied with a few broken pieces of glass. Whereas you're the diamond, you're the jewels, you're like the diamond. I got a few broken pieces of glass. What is the use? So Dhruva Maharaj feels guilty. So even though the Lord comes, appears and blesses him, he's not fully satisfied. This is a very important lesson for us. Because sometimes we think our happiness comes from increasing our material presence, becoming stronger, bigger, more famous, more richer, more intelligent, more handsome, more beautiful, more this, more that. But actually, Dhruva Maharaj had all of that within his grasp. But that is not, he had it within his grasp. He got the biggest kingdom, eternal kingdom, 36,000 years, you'll never grow old. You'll be happy. Everybody will be glorifying you, worshipping you, serving you in your kingdom. As if you are the Supreme Lord yourself, they'll be glorifying you. But Dhruva Maharaj says, what's the value of all this if I'm not in the presence of Krishna? So it's a good lesson for all of us, because sometimes we have so much faith in material things. Maybe a car will make me happy. A person who has a car will think, maybe a bigger, better car will make me happy. One who has that will think, maybe I should have 2 cars and a house. Somebody will think, I should have 2 cars and a house and a yacht and an aircraft and private jet or something. But that's not what makes us happy. Or that's not what makes us as happy as we are when we are under the shelter of the Lord. The real happiness is when we are under the shelter of Krishna. The Gopa boys of Vrindavan were so blissful that they just couldn't be tempted by anything else. They say, if I have the sun, will I have of what use is a matchstick? Of what use is a torchlight? I have the sun with me. When I have the ocean, of what use is a few drops of water? That is the mood of the Gopa boys of Vrindavan. They are saying, we have Krishna, what do we need? And all the devatas are struggling to get one favorable glance from Krishna. But these Gopa boys are playing with him, joking with him, living with him, fighting with him, enjoying with him, the cowherd friends of Krishna. Whereas the devatas are all struggling to get one glimpse of a toenail of his lotus feet. So Dhruva Maharaj also is feeling that he may have asked for something wrong. So it said that after the Lord goes away, he goes home. When he goes home, he's still thinking, "Oh, what a chance I had. I could have asked the Lord for eternal residence at his lotus feet, eternal association with him, with his devotees, constantly being engaged with him or engaged in his service. I let go of all those opportunities and I asked for some kingdom." I mean, whether it's kingdom or you own a piece of land or 10 pieces of land or whatever, little your happiness increases very marginally. Even if you own the whole world also, it doesn't increase. Because actually, there is no happiness in owning something. There is happiness in serving Krishna. Krishna, the name Krishna means person who gives happiness, who's a source, original source of happiness. So when his father comes down to embrace him, when Dhruva Maharaj is going back to his hometown from the forest, he notices Dhruva Maharaj is very different. He is very sober, mature, though he is just 5 years old. He was away only for 6 months, mature, sober, very grave, and very thoughtful. He was no longer like a little kid, mischievous kid. And then it is said that Dhruva Maharaj meets his two mothers. He meets his mother, he meets his stepmother also. And then he notices that because he met the Lord and the Lord blessed him, he no longer has any bitter feelings towards his stepmother or his stepbrother or his father or anybody, because in his mind he's thinking, oh, I lost this chance. I could have been an eternal associate of Krishna, my Lord. And I just settled for something of not much value at all. Actually, the Lord promises him, in these 36,000 years when you're the king also, you'll still remain a great devotee. You'll not be contaminated. But still, Dhruva Maharaj looked at being a king as a huge burden of responsibility rather than just being a nice devotee. And then Dhruva Maharaj goes back and his father is happy, his mother is happy. He thanks his mother he thanks his stepmother also. He says, because of you I became angry. Thanks his mother saying, because of you I went to the forest and I actually searched for Vishnu. And in his heart, he thanks Narada also, because he says, you gave me that mantra. And I just chanted the way you wanted me to chant. So he thanks he thanks Narada Muni also. So it's a very nice, sweet story. It's not that the main aspect of the story is that he took revenge on his father or his stepmother or his stepbrother. And he established something billions of times greater than the kingdom that his father had, inconceivably bigger, greater. That's not the real part of the story. The real message of the story is that how Dhruva Maharaj, even after achieving that, he thought, I don't think my decision was correct or fair. I should have been a devotee. I should have asked for Lord's eternal association. I should have asked that I should never be separated from the Lord. So that's how he accepts the kingdom. And after Dhruva Maharaj grows up a little bit, his father realizes that everybody in the kingdom loves Dhruva Maharaj so much. He's such a perfect son, great devotee, very balanced, intelligent, mature, loving, kind, forgiving, strong, firm, that at the first available opportunity, his father will retire, go away to the forest and give the kingdom to Dhruva. He says, it's yours. Now it's all yours. And that's how, that by the time the kingdom becomes Dhruva planet, Dhruva Tara, or whatever, it becomes like that. So that's when Dhruva Maharaj accepts the role of a king. But in his heart, he's always thinking, how soon will this 36,000 years be over? So I can go back to Krishna now. And I don't want to do the same mistake again. Just go back to him and stay eternally in his service. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. We'll just spend the next 5 minutes talking about this Leela. I want some of you to say, what do we learn from this Leela? Each one of you, one point you can say, so the others also can speak. What do we learn from this Leela of Dhruva Maharaj, which is in the fourth canto? Yeah. Huh? Oh, choose the bhakti path. Very nice. Nicely said. Anybody else? Yeah. We was extraordinary level of determination. Imagine eating once in three days and then eating dry leaves, then drinking water once in 6 days and breathing once in 9 days, one breath, and then finally stopping breathing also. Of course, tremendous amount of determination, and Dhruva Maharaj had it. Correct. Good. Anybody else? Huh? Oh, you're saying you. Okay, you're saying somebody has, in order to achieve anything, one has to display determination. Yeah, actually, without determination, if you're casual about, you can't achieve anything if you're casual. They say in English, rolling stone gathers no moss, something like that. You can't, if you don't have determination, you can't make it into anything in life. Good point. Anybody else? Yes, Shrotam. Yeah. Actually, Dhruva Maharaj is lost for words after he sees Krishna. Narada Muni also tells him a little bit, but it said that after Krishna's touch, he becomes fully self-realized, completely self-realized. It is said that the ultimate essence of all Vedic teachings just dawn into his heart and mind. He becomes a jnani. He's already a devotee. He becomes a jnani, a complete devotee, also blessed with knowledge. And that comes from Krishna's grace, from Krishna's blessing. Actually, everything good that happens comes from Krishna and Guru. Very nice. Anybody else? Anybody else? Any other point? Yes. Why? Why not kingdom? Power. Huh? What's that? Temporary. If it is permanent, you will ask. If it is permanent, you will ask. Actually, one thing is, yes, it is temporary. The other thing is, it is said that the sweetness we experience by serving Krishna, chanting his name, associating with devotees, serving him, is millions and millions of times more than what you can experience in this material realm. That's a higher realm. It's a realm of Ananda. This is the realm of Dukalayam Ashashvatam. Some happiness you will get here. This means including Devaloka, Brahmaloka, all these planets, there's definitely some little happiness you will get, but not like what you can get when you're with Krishna. And that is our Swarupa also. Swarupa means that is our original nature, to be connected with God, Krishna. When we are connected, like the fish out of water. As long as the fish is out of water, no matter what you do, what you try, the fish won't be happy. But when the fish gets back to water, it's in its original element. So similarly, when we are at the lotus feet of the Lord, in the service of the Lord, it is very complete. Yes. Nice. Anybody else? Yes, sir. Person who is in passion. Yeah. So by chanting the names of the Lord, somebody who's in the mode of passion can also become sattvic. Very nice. Person who's in the mode of passion should dovetail his passion also in serving the Lord. Like Arjuna was a bit of passionate person, but he doubted his energy to fight on behalf of the Lord. Yeah, but the point is that eventually, because you become very sattvic. Sattvic means very careful, very thoughtful, very mindful, very cautious in how you decide, do, plan, talk, etc. Yes, sattvic means you think and do. You think, evaluate various options, and then you do. Anybody else? One or two more people? Yes. Yeah. Correct. It could be a blessing in disguise. Maybe very good for you. Sometimes some reversal, some small reversal, may be the best thing for you. Never to? Correct. Sevan Mukhehi. Yes. So it's a blessing in disguise. Sometimes have some reversal, like Dhruva Maharaj's reversal. He became upset, he became angry, he became very humiliated. But it turned out to be a good thing for him. Otherwise, maybe he would have just continued to live there like any other 5-year-old kid, wasting his life. But because of that incident, he came out. Anybody else? One last comment. Yes. Yeah. See, devotee is a loving representative of Krishna. We may not realize it now. Years later, decades later, we will realize that that devotee actually saved my life, gave my life a completely new purpose, a new meaning, a new direction. Years later, decades later, we will realize how devotees, Suhrut means well-wisher, real well-wisher. Thank you very much. Hare. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you're right. What's the use of having a guru if you don't follow him? So, yeah, one can evaluate, one can test, one can study, one can verify, validate. But ultimately, Sadhu, who is representing Krishna and speaking on behalf of Krishna, speaking faithfully as it is, whatever Krishna has revealed, is as good as Krishna in many ways, in terms of knowledge that you get. As good as receiving it directly from Krishna. Yes, you can follow. It's nice. You'll be very auspicious. Huh? Yeah. Dhruva has realized that he misused or didn't take proper advantage of the opportunity that he got. So, which is why we read the Bhagavatam, we understand from reading and hearing also. It takes a little more practice, then we will develop this faith that nobody more attractive than Krishna, nobody more kind and merciful than, more friendlier than Krishna, more protective than Krishna. Krishna is like your father, your mother, your everybody combined. Your guru, your teacher, your friend, your well-wisher, everybody combined is Krishna shows that much love and affection to all of us. So Dhruva Maharaj will feel that maybe he cheated himself by asking for something so insignificant, just a kingdom. Just because I became angry one day, But then what we realize is that because he became angry and because he got Krishna in his life. Okay? Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. So we have three new guests here today. Haribol, can Rajkishore just introduce them? So everybody can welcome them and pray for them.
Currently studying in first and second year. We have Manjunath Prabhu. He is currently studying in the second year of college. Then we have Vinay Prabhu. Harivo. He is also currently studying in the second year. And then we have Tushar Prabhu. Harivo. He is currently studying in the first year. They all came to attend the camp. We have 2 days camp for the students, and other students are also coming from CMSRIT college. There's a 2 days camp for the students. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. May Krishna bless all of you. Hare Krishna. I think we break for Prashadam. I don't know what it is. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की श्री श्री गांधर्विक गिरिधारी श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु की हरिनाम संकीर्तन महायज्ञ की पिताई को प्रेमानंद। क्या हुआ?